That doesn't, however, mean that Islamabad plans to recognize the Jewish state anytime soon. Some analysts in Pakistan advocate that the country should take more pragmatic and realistic positions and accept the fact that Israel exists and is not going away. But at this point, there will unlikely be a formal recognition of the Jewish state. Although for Israel, building links with Pakistan is not hugely beneficial at this juncture, Tel Aviv would certainly appreciate Islamabad's recognition ahead of a potential confrontation with Iran, Pakistan's neighbour to the west. Also, Israel might like to explore the possibility of using Pakistan against Iran. However, with a 21% Shia Muslim population, Pakistan cannot afford a sectarian conflict. For Israel, India seems to be a more important country than Pakistan. Tel Aviv reportedly wishes to sell India several advanced weapons manufactured by defence industries such as spy planes, unmanned aircraft, anti-tank missiles, cannons and radar systems. India remains Israel's biggest arms market, thought to be worth about $1 billion annually. A report from the Sweden-based Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, released earlier this year, found that India accounts for 46% of Israel's arms export trade, with Azerbaijan and Vietnam the second and third biggest clients respectively. However, if Islamabad and Tel Aviv eventually establish diplomatic ties, Israel could provide weapons to Pakistan as well. In case of a potential conflict between India and Pakistan over Kashmir, Israel would certainly play an important role by arming both sides in this divide and rule game. Several commentators in Pakistan have offered a list of advantages which recognition of Israel would bring to Pakistan. The list includes reduced risk of a strike against Pakistan's nuclear assets, access to Israel's military technology, and throwing a spanner in Israel's growing special relationship with India. However, the vast majority of Pakistanis would see this as another treasonous sellout, a costly concession extracted from their spineless rulers in exchange for loans that will only deepen Pakistan's foreign debt. Some of Pakistan's religious political parties such as Jamaat-e-Islami, Jamaat-e-Ulema-Islam and militant groups such as Lashkar-e-Taiba fiercely oppose any relations with Israel. They have repeatedly called the Jewish state the enemy of Islam and Pakistan. From their perspective, Israel is a colonial settler and racist state that was founded on terror and violence, as well as on the ruined foundations of a living Palestinian society. They see Israel as a Zionist project that resulted in ethnically cleansing more than 1 million Palestinians in 1948 and 1967. On the other hand, there are Pakistanis who support the recognition of the Jewish state. In 2016, a Pakistani PhD scholar and writer, Malik Shahrukh, started the Israel-Pakistan Friendship Group, which campaigns for the diplomatic relationship between the two nations. The highest-ranking Pakistani politician who advocated open diplomatic ties with Israel was the former President General Pervez Musharraf in 2003. Over the past 15 years, he has urged his country to initiate such a diplomatic move. Also, the Pakistani and Israel foreign ministers held their first ever publicly acknowledged meeting on September 1, 2005 in Ankara, over 5 decades after the creation of the two states. In addition, several unofficial diplomatic exchanges have taken place between Pakistani and Israeli functionaries over the decades. At an official level, in the United Nations General Assembly session in October 1947, just 2 months after successfully founding a nation-state based on Muslim nationalism, Pakistan's first foreign minister, Zafarullah Khan, strongly opposed the idea of a nation-state based on Jewish nationalism. His argument was that unlike Pakistan, a Jewish state in Palestine would be an artificial result of immigration. Some analysts, however, argue that the Indian partition resulted in the largest mass migration in human history, and that Pakistan, who is less than a year older than modern Israel, was created as an artificial spin-off of India. It was in the 1990s, after the Oslo Accords, that the question over Pakistani recognition of Israel first began entering the mainstream. However, it gradually became evident that even supporting the Palestinians would require some engagement with the State of Israel. The incident that illustrates this came in August 1994, when the then Pakistan Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto wouldn't visit Gaza because that visit would have required coordination with Israel. Still, the first breakthrough came in 1978 when Egypt recognized Israel in return for an annual US payment of $2 billion. Ever since, some political circles in the corridors of power in Islamabad have been discussing the possibility of normalizing ties with Tel Aviv, but to this day that topic remains highly controversial in Pakistan. Pakistan cannot recognize Israel overnight, even if it wants to. There needs to be a trigger or an event of